How's it going? Good to see you guys. I guess kind of the initial thing is, how are you enjoying your time here, and kind of antsy to go at this point for either of you?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're all revved up and ready to go. I'm super excited to be here, super excited for our game coming up. And yeah, we've loved our time here. Got out a little bit yesterday and were able to see kind of around the downtown area here. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, definitely excited to go and ready for our game coming up.
Colton, I apologize. I forgot to say, please don't video anything in here. You can get that off the feed. But Colton, do you have another question? Let's go back to Colton.
I guess I'll direct this one to Charlisse. Obviously, still new territory for the program, back-to-back tourneys and everything, this kind of success. But what can you kind of take away from last season and coming into this one, making back-to-back tourneys? Were there a little bit of, maybe jitters being in that tournament last year, and do you see some of that stuff kind of wiped away in this one going into the second one in a row?
Yeah, I think definitely a bit more nervous last year. Obviously new for a lot of us, probably just Krystal, who is the only one who had been to a tournament. And so just a lot of new things to, get your head around. Playing a team you've never played before. It's different to, conference games where you've played them 2 or 3 times. So I think this year we've all got a lot more experience, all being here in the same position last year. I think we're a bit more locked in, focusing more on things we can control, our scouting stuff, going into trainings, knowing we have to have good trainings. We've only got, a couple before we play a really good side. So, yeah, I think we're a bit more prepared this year, and hopefully we're all locked in and ready to play on Saturday.
Let's go right there.
Hey, guys. Kelly Graham will be calling the game on ESPN. First of all, I feel like February, you guys started playing really well, strung together some wins. We know in the quarter against Utah struggled to shoot it a bit, but what do you think changed in February? You talk about being locked in. Is there anything specifically you can tell us about that?
Krystal, could you go first, please?
Okay. I think February, it's kind of getting down to that business end time, and as we kind of said, we kind of made a run last year and had a majority of our team back, and we're really locked in, and we knew our goals, and we knew we wanted to be here and put ourselves in a position to be here. So I definitely think February was kind of like that light bulb moment where it's like, we better show up now. Otherwise, there's no time left. So yeah, definitely think that maturity and just, knowing the time of the year and the time of the season, and knowing that we want to peak now is definitely a big reason, I think, why we kind of played better in February, and hopefully why we're on a little bit of a run now coming into this.
Yeah, and just to add on to what she was saying, I think one of the key reasons that we did, perform well was that team chemistry and team culture that we've been, focusing on throughout the entire preseason, and then carrying that over into, January, February. So I think a lot of things started coming together for us. We knew what was working, what wasn't, and we really tried to hone in on that stuff to get us, obviously, crucial wins that we needed.
Let's go back to Kelly.
Okay, you bring up the team chemistry. You guys are a melting pot, I guess is the word, of a lot of international players. But a team that brought back a lot. So you guys have known each other for a while, played together. What is it like? I mean, how many are we hearing different languages in the locker room? Just describe to us that vibe.
Charlisse, could you answer this first, and then we'll give Krystal a turn?
Yeah, you do hear some different languages sometimes, which is it's pretty cool, I think. And I think it can go both ways. I mean, when you have a lot of different international players, you have a lot of different styles of basketball coming in, and I think that's on one side, really, really cool, because you have different experiences, people know how to play the game different ways, and I think that's also helped our team a lot. And then there's also an area where you need to figure out a balance and bring everyone's styles together and work out, the best way that you can play with that all those styles. So we love it. I mean, I love playing with international players, and obviously our Americans too. But yeah, you just kind of bond over that fact that, you're all away from home, you go through the same struggles, and I think that's really brought us together.
Krystal, is there anything to add?
I think she covered most of it, but yeah, definitely I think that off-the-court bond that we've created from all being away from home and, having to spend those holiday breaks together and all of those little things have really helped our chemistry and yeah, but in saying that, we have had 2 years to get to know each other and kind of build that bond as well.
Let's go back to Colton.
I'll direct this one toward Krystal. Cammie's talked a lot in the last, few weeks about how much more complete of a team this is. I guess what do you think were some of the shortcomings last year that have been smoothed out at this time? You talked about chemistry. Is it more of kind of a mental part, or what are some things maybe on the court you think you guys are better at than you were last year?
Yeah, I think, last year we were still pretty under the radar. Not many people knew about us, and it was kind of our coming out year a little bit. But, yeah, I think that was kind of like one thing for us. And then, sorry, I'm losing it.
I think also, just to add on to that, last year, I think a lot of the girls too maybe weren't as confident in what they can and couldn't do. And I think this year, you see Bella, obviously, she's the co-improved player of the year, and I think she's really come into her game herself. Johanna's more confident in getting her shot up. We have people coming off the bench really making an impact on the game, and I think everyone's just a bit more confident in who they are and what they want and their roles on the team. And again, I think that goes back to, that second year, everybody knows what they can do. Coaches, really laid it out for us, and so I think that's also helps a little bit where, last year we might not have really known what everybody was going to do.
Let's go back to Kelly.
So you guys are both from New Zealand. We can tell, accent, we love it. So what did you know about American basketball growing up? What did you know about college basketball, WNBA? Who did you like watching? I'm just curious about your basketball childhood growing up.
Krystal, could you start, please?
Yeah, I mean, our mum was a big basketball player, but she never really left home. So I don't think we knew much about the college system, but we always watched, the WNBA, the NBA, and kind of saw all those superstars. And growing up, I think Sue Bird was like always my idol. And then I don't think we quite knew how big the college system was. Like, we knew all the big name schools and a lot of the Power 5 places, but we didn't really know how big Division I basketball was and how big of a deal like the tournament is and March Madness and all that stuff. So coming over here and learning about all of that and just really being immersed in it has been awesome, and just a new experience and something that we never even kind of knew, I think, like what to expect or what it was like over here. But yeah, definitely kind of, had a little bit of experience watching college, and there were a few girls from New Zealand. I think we knew maybe like three girls that had come over, but there weren't many. But definitely I think in the last few years, like even just the last 4 years that we've been here, we've seen a lot more New Zealanders at least come over, and yeah, just really gotten to know this college system and how this whole thing fits together and works. So it's definitely been awesome, but a lot of new things that we didn't really know before getting here.
Yeah, and I think back home, one of the main points to influence girls to come over to play college basketball is the academic side of it, to get, a free scholarship and be able to play here. And so I think when you think about that, nobody really honed into the basketball side of things. Like Krystal was saying, we didn't really understand how big it was. Even me personally, the year before, all I kind of knew was what Krystal was doing in college and just seeing her progress and, in the Big Sky and those types of things. So, yeah, coming over, I didn't really understand it until I was here in college as a freshman, experience everything. Everything was still new to me. We made the tournament, and again, I still didn't realize how big that was until everybody was telling us. So, it's definitely a different world over here, but I think a lot more Kiwis back home are realizing now that it is such a great opportunity and a really good pathway to go, and it can lead you on to bigger things within basketball.
Let's go back to Colton.
Of course, still games to be played, and Charlisse, still time to go in the college career. But could you just both speak on kind of your place in this quick rebuild, and what would you both kind of like to leave behind as your legacies at Wazoo?
Charlisse, could you go first, please?
Yeah. For me, I know you said kind of a quick rebuild, but I would actually say it goes a lot deeper than that. We have girls in this program who have been here with Coach E from the start, and there's no way that we would have had the success last year and this year that we would have without them, going through the battles and struggles that they did in their first years, losing games by a lot and not having any conference wins, games like that. And so I just want to give them credit for that first off, because, you know, obviously that's a big thing. But yeah, I'm just, you know, super grateful that I came into a team that already had that foundation laid out, and they knew and they were strong about what they wanted to achieve. You know, coaching and her coaching staff every day, you know, talk about their values and morals and where they want to see this team headed. And I think that's really important for us as players, because we can see that vision, and that's, you know, the discipline that we need to come in and the motivation that we need to, you know, do what we have to do on the court every day. And so for me, kind of the legacy part, I think I would want to continue this kind of winning attitude. I think that hasn't been embedded in this program in such a long time. And I think we're still getting there as well. I don't think we're completely there yet, but I think I want to leave here knowing that anybody who comes into the program, you know, really has a chance at competing against top teams in the nation, if not in the Pac-12 conference. So, yeah, I think that's one of the things I would want to leave.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. I think that's a big thing. I want to, you know, put this program on the national stage and have us in all those conversations. And when people think basketball, they think of our school, and, you know, we're in all those talks. So I think that was a goal coming in here, and that was something the coaches spoke to me. Obviously, I'd played for them before, playing here at Washington State. So they kind of told me the expectation, and they're like, you know, this is where we want the program to go, kind of how Charlie said. We want to turn this program around, win games, build a strong culture, all those things. So definitely, I think, as Charlie's mentioned, we've kind of ticked some of those boxes and we're getting there, but not there yet. But yeah, definitely just want to keep this program building and growing, and just keep us in these conversations and keep coming back to this tournament and things like this.
Let's go back here.
I'm Sam. I'm calling the game with Kelly tomorrow. I'm curious, what is there going to be a watch party back home? Like, I know it's going to be a lot different time, but will you guys have family watching, and how are they going to be able to see you guys play?
Krystal, could you go first, please?
Yep, we sure have a band of fans back home, and all our family and friends follow us. It will be, I think, 4:30 a.m. in the morning, so not sure how committed they are, but I'm sure they'll record the game and might watch it later and just, you know, turn off social media and that. But yeah, definitely have a band of fans back home that are supporting us.
Charlisse, anything to add?
No, not really. I'm just, yeah, same as Krystal. There's going to be a lot of people watching from home. I think they're all really excited. It's not every day you get to see, you know, two Kiwis going up against, you know, great players and great teams here over in America. And so, yeah, I think there'll be a lot of support.
Any other question, Kelly?
What do you guys know about Kansas State? Obviously, Ayoka Lee is a big star with her 61-point game. Sundell, the freshman point guard, has played really well. Just give us some things that you're looking at with K-State.
Charlisse, could you start?
Yeah, I think obviously Lee has been a focus for us. She's an amazing player, great size, and so I think we've talked a lot about how we are going to plan around that and scheme around that about how to play her. But I also think, you know, a lot of it is focusing on what we can do also on the offensive end, and how we can go against their type of defense with her in there. And yeah, Sundell, she's been playing great too. Point guard for their team, you know, really long, tall, and plays well with Lee, I think, as well. So those two have really been a key focus for us, and yeah, we're just trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of contain those two.
Okay, we've got time for one more question from the room, and then I've got a couple of Zoom questions. Is there one final question, or are we good here? All right, let's go to the Zoom question, and we have Jamie Vinnick. Jamie, can you hear me?
I got you.
Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, so this can be, I'll start with Charlisse. You know, last year, I think you kind of touched on it, you know, there was a little more wide-eyedness and a little more kind of starting to kind of, you know, try and figure out what this whole situation was about and understand the, you know, the gravity of it. Do you kind of feel like, you know, this entire year you've kind of been working towards getting to this second year of tournament games and doing so with a little more experience and a little more, I think, as you said, locked in determination rather than kind of playing the game, but also still kind of trying to fill yourself out at this level?
Yeah, definitely. This was, the biggest goal for us was to get back to the tournament and to get, to the second round, because we didn't do that last year. And so I think the whole year that's been on the back of our minds. Obviously, you play every game as it comes and you focus on certain things. But, I think as a team, we've really locked into that mentality of doing what we need to do to get back here and put us in a position where, we can tick off another first for our program.
Jamie, I can give you one more question if you have one.
Yeah, I got one more.
All right.
And this can be for either one of you. Last year it seemed that there was kind of it was kind of an up and down road to the finish line. There were some losses in there. You guys had lost some players. This year, kind of a much different story. 9 of your last 13, the only losses coming to tournament teams. Does it change, the confidence at all when you're kind of coming in here on a bit of a run, when you're surging a little bit, rather than kind of coming in, I don't want to say stumbling, but with a little more struggle down the stretch?
Krystal, could you answer that?
Sure, I can do that one. I have a pretty not very great memory, so I don't recall everything that led up to last year in our tournament run. But I definitely think we're coming in this year, with a little bit more confidence and sureness about ourselves. And we've had some great wins, and we've been able to string together a lot of great games on this back end of this season. So I definitely think, as Charlisse has said, we're locked in, we know what we need to do, we know how we need to perform, and as we've been talking about earlier, that chemistry too, I think that has come, and as I said, we're peaking kind of now, and hopefully, that bodes well for us, and we can just continue on and really make a run in this tournament.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie. We're going to move now to Brenna. Brenna, if you'd like to ask a question.
Hi, this is for both of you guys. You guys got this extra year together because of COVID. Just what is it like now coming into this tournament and knowing that every game that you guys play together, could be your last one playing as WSU players, as sisters?
Charlisse, would you like to go first?
Sure. Yeah, like I've said, for the past 2 years, playing with Krystal is just an unbelievable opportunity that I never thought I would have the chance to get, just with our age difference. College playing together wasn't really ever in my future. So I'm just super grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. For me personally, going into these games, it's probably not something, to be honest, that I really think about because I don't really like to get too high or too low with my emotions during the games. And so maybe if I think about that, sometimes I, might get sad or something like that. So I try not to think about it, but, I am definitely just grateful for every minute that we do get to spend on the court. There's no one that I have a better connection with out there on the team, and so that's really special for us. And so, again, I would just say I'm super grateful that I get to do that.
Krystal, anything to add?
I think for the last few years I've been thinking at the end of the season, this is going to be my last one, this is going to be my last one. But I think, like Charlisse, I don't really think about it. We have bigger things to achieve, and we're focused on other things other than just playing with each other and these special moments. I know we'll look back in the future and, really cherish these things, but I think right now we're really locked in on the goals we have and the tasks we have to do, and kind of that last game moment with us will be an afterthought.
Okay, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for the student athletes. Ladies, thank you very much and good luck tomorrow night. Coach Etheridge should be starting up here in a few minutes.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.